we're gonna make a card stacking effect in CSS. Now, we want to make these stack. Let's see how easy this is. I'm gonna do position sticky, top 0. And they're stacking on top of each other. Can you imagine that? It was easier than you thought, huh? This is kind of the same way that a header works, like a sticky header, where you put a position sticky on it, and then it stays at the top of the screen. This is basically the same thing. It's basically like you're scrolling down and then the header gets stacked on top of it. It gets stuck on top of the screen, except these are stacking on top of each other because they're going down the page. They're all getting sticky to the top at 0. Now, the thing with these cards is we probably want to have some space of the card here. So when Venus stacks on top of Mercury, it actually stacks like right there, so we can see that there's a planet behind that or card behind that card. So in order to do that, we would have to set styles on each one of these. You know, there's a way to do this without setting a value on each of them, I'm pretty sure. That's what the one we want, because then you could use sibling index to, this is basically what we want. We want about 10 pixels for each sibling, so that the first one is 10 pixels from the top, the second one's 20, the third one's 30, etc. What is the browser support? And it is not good. But you know what, we're using Chrome, and later I will set this to something that is not using an unsupported browser feature, but I want to save some time for all of you, so I'm going to do it for you. So if we set calc sibling index times 10 pixels, now that stops at 10, that stops at 20, that stops at 30, that stops at 40, etc. Maybe they need a little bit more, something like 15 pixels, and now they're all on top of each other, but not totally on top of each other. I'm going to add some padding bottom to the HTML elements so that we can scroll all the way down and get like a complete stack. Just say 100 VH. So now I can scroll down and boom, that is, whoa, what is that? That's interesting. They do that. I sort of thought they would. Why does that happen? Especially this one that is not the same as the others. Can't explain that, but this is working pretty good. I'm gonna add some padding to the top of the padding block, and then we have it at the top and the bottom. So when I scroll down here, these scroll, and then the whole thing goes. I think that was the issue no, look, it's still doing it. Very weird. I think maybe if we wrapped all of these in the div, that might do it. Let's see. Position sticky only works for when something is it scrolls only inside of its parent. So now, as the div scrolls away, nope, still doing it. I can't explain that at all. This is Chrome Canary, so it could be just some kind of weird bug. Delete self and keep children. There we go. So I just unwrapped it from the div that we had. So this is cool. I could say I'm done at this point. Here are the cards. They're scrolling one on top of the next. And we did this with basically 2 lines of CSS. Position sticky, top, calc sibling index times 15. If you wanted to do this without sibling index, like if you wanted to have it support Safari and that kind of thing. If I take this off, you'll see that the effect goes away. I'll show you with the first view. What I do is I'll add top 15 pixels, and then on the next one I'll add top 30 pixels, and then on the next one I'll add top 45 pixels, and then the first three will be stacked down from the top, and then these other ones just keep going because they have no top value. So basically, without sibling index, you have to go in and set each one individually. Sibling index is just like, what is am I the first child, the second child, the third child, etc. That gives you a number, and then you times it by 15 pixels, and that's what gives you the correct top value, which is how far from the top of the screen this exists. So I'm going to save this page to planet card stacking, and this gets planet card stacking, and there it is. If you want to see it, go to this page, playground.hot.page, planet card stacking. This might look bad because we didn't really consider desktop, but we didn't give these a max width, so they look quite extended. I'm going to do that now. Max width 300 pixels, maybe 500. And there they go. They're stacked on top of each other. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Today we made the card stacks, and next week we will have more things to show you. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.